A white envelope. Yes, just a small white envelope that's stuck among the branches of Jessica's Christmas tree. No name, no identification, no inscription. But this white envelope acts as a magic wand of Christmas. It brings forth generosity instead of greed. It brings forth modesty instead of arrogance. Isn't that interesting? I can see you all dying to know about it. This white envelope has peeked through the branches of Jessica's tree for the past 10 years or so. You want to know how it started? Well, it's an interesting story. It all began because Jessica's husband, Andrew, hated Christmas. Hated Christmas? Oh, not the true essence of Christmas, but the commercial aspects of it, the overspending aspect, the mad last-minute rush to get a tie for Uncle Ben and the dusting powder for Grandma Mary. The gifts given in desperation because our mind gets paralyzed and you can't think of anything else. If we give a serious thought to it, it really sounds crazy and we feel stupid. Jessica knew that Andrew felt this way, so she decided to bypass the usual shirts, sweaters, ties, and so on for Christmas during a particular year. She thought of something special and different just for Andrew. The thought took its shape in an unusual way. Their son, Joel, who was 11 that year, was wrestling at the junior level at the school he attended, and shortly before Christmas, for Joel's team, there was a non-league match against a team sponsored by an inner-city church. These young wrestlers were dressed in sneakers that were so ragged that the shoestrings seemed to be the only thing holding them together. They presented a sharp contrast to the boys' team of Joel, who were in their classy gray and white uniforms and their dazzling new wrestling shoes. As the match began, Jessica was alarmed to see that the other team was wrestling without headgear. Now, headgear is actually a kind of light helmet designed to protect a wrestler's ears. It was indeed a luxury that the ragtag team obviously could not afford. Well, they ended up walloping them. They took every weight class, and as each of their boys got up from the mat, swaggered around in their tatters and false bravado, there was a kind of street pride that couldn't acknowledge defeat. Andrew, seated beside Jessica, shook his head sadly. "I wish at least one of them had won," he said. "They have a lot of potential, a lot of caliber, but losing like this would destroy their confidence. It would take the heart right out of them." Andrew loved kids, irrespective of their background. All kids, and of course, he knew them, having coached Little League football, baseball, and lacrosse. That's when the idea for his present came. That afternoon, Jessica went to a local sporting goods store and bought an assortment of wrestling headgear and shoes, and sent them anonymously to the inner-city church. On Christmas Eve, Jessica pinned the envelope on the tree, the note inside telling Andrew what she had done, and that this was a gift for him from his loving wife, Jessica. His smile was the brightest in that year's Christmas, and in succeeding years as well. For each Christmas, Jessica followed the tradition, one year sending a group of mentally handicapped youngsters to a hockey game. Another year, a check to a pair of elderly brothers whose home had burned to ashes the week before Christmas, and on and on. The mutual respect and love that Andrew and their kids had for Jessica got enhanced year by year. The envelope, that white envelope peeking out from the tree, became the highlight of their Christmas celebrations, changing their lives' perspective. It was always the last thing opened on Christmas morning, and their children, ignoring their new toys, would stand with wide-eyed anticipation as their dad lifted the envelope from the tree to show its contents. And then, the joy of serving people, the happiness of giving, the satisfaction of working for others, infiltrated into their souls. Just wonderful. As the children grew, the perspective got modified. The toys gave way to more practical presents, but the envelope never lost its shine. Now, the story doesn't end here. Tragedy struck Jessica's family. They lost Andrew last year. The dreaded cancer took him away from this world. When Christmas rolled around, Jessica was still so wrapped in grief that she barely got the tree up. But Christmas Eve found her placing an envelope on the tree, and in the morning, it was joined by 3 more. Each of their children, unknown to the other siblings, had placed an envelope on the tree for their dad. The tradition has grown, and someday will expand even further with their grandchildren standing around the tree with wide-eyed anticipation, watching as their fathers take down the envelope. and your spirit, like the Christmas spirit, will always be with Jessica and her children. Guys, remember Christ, who is the reason for the season. Let the true Christmas spirit guide you this year and always. Let the magic of Christmas illuminate the landscape of your lives, so that your light may not only light the lives of others, but also bring the warmth of love in their lives as well. Blessed is the season which engages the whole world in a conspiracy of pure love. Like, share, and get soaked in the pure love of the Christmas season.